Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen news. We had loads of information on mission features for the future, but I also want to look at summaries of the week's roadmap updates, inside Star Citizen, that looked at new Babbage, and the Star Citizen newsletter, all for the week ending the 4th of August 2019. Let's start with the blurb on the newsletter. The new Anvil Blister is a tough customer touting an impressive missile payload. That much is clear, but the devil's in the detail, and that's where our official Q&A comes in, with the vehicle's designers answering the community's top questions about Anvil's anti-aircraft animal. Don't forget to watch the newly dropped Blister commercial as well. Trust us, you won't know what hit you. Also this week, Spectrum heats up with an ad for an upcoming series that promises to be chock full of thrills and chills. Subscribers get a chance to test drive all 4 Cyclone variants all month long, and Inside Star Citizen offers an early look at the new Babbage landing zone. You can find all the links to the newsletter down below in the description, and videos on each of those specific topics that was mentioned. This week's sneak peek in the newsletter was of the Vanguard Harbingers, the missile variant, pew pew pew, the central module room there, complete with the big missile viewing station. Alpha 3.6.1 is currently on the PTU, but the current build, the 3.6.1e build, looks to be like a live candidate to me. It's got a large percentage of the really annoying bugs in 3.6's branch fixed, as well as having really solid performance, at least for me when I was playing it. But yeah, it's significantly better. There's still lots of problems with it. Hover mode's not great yet, although potentially fractionally better than it has been. Roadmap wise, we've actually got quite a load coming up in the next few weeks, with 3.7 planned for the end of September, an interim patch before that in the form of 3.6.x, and even a Q2 2020 patch being added to the roadmap probably. We're also going to see a bit of rescheduling for patches too coming soon, so we might see 3.7 in a vastly different state on the roadmap in a few weeks' time. Currently though, for the 3.6.x branch, the interim patch, we've seen the Shield Tech systems rework now complete on the roadmap, and the 890 jump has seen a few tasks finished. No more further movement on ship rentals, but there's only one more task to complete for them, and that should all be in the interim patch. Alpha 3.7 rest stop interior variations have seen 22 new tasks added, as well as 6 completed. The Vanguard variants, Harbinger and Sentinel, have seen a good amount of work as well. The Salvo pistol has seen a little tiny bit of work for 3.7. Alpha 3.8 has seen 32 tasks added to the version 1 of the new Babbage landing zone, and seen 7 of those completed as well. There's been a tiny bit of progress on the Anvil Carrack 2. In 3.9, Horizon, the landing zone at Crusader, saw a little bit of progress as well. Inside Star Citizen looked at new Babbage's white box phase. Should be going into grey box after that's done. It's the landing zone of planet MicroTech, which is a very frosty planet. It's planned to be in 3.8, and there's going to be sort of like Nordic forest biomes there, sort of quite frosty biomes, lots of ice, lots of snow, lots of frozen seas. They showed this sort of like main shopping area, district, and plaza area in white box, with MicroTech's premier store being at the center there, and then lots of shops being around it. And it's sort of like a cross between a hospital greenhouse, these sort of like the cities in these domes that exist on the planet's surface, like biodome greenhouses with lots of light and plants there. They also talk about item misfires and the lore system that's already in 3.6. Star Citizen Live talked heavily about mission features and was sort of like co-hosted by the mission features team. In regard to mission sharing, they have been working on it and prototyping it, so soon we're getting mission sharing, but we don't know when. I'm hoping for 3.7. Most missions are suitable for porting over to mission sharing in the shorter term. Some missions are not, like scramble races. This functionality will potentially be rolled out in batches of missions. I also expect with the dynamic mission system that missions in the future will all be built with mission sharing in mind. They need to refactor some of these missions for the dynamic mission system and the mission sharing systems. They mentioned that they've been using server-side object container streaming with some of the missions and stuff that they're working on at the moment, and it's like night and day performance-wise, similar to when we got client-side object container streaming in. So that's a great thing to hear. So it might be a little bit further along, maybe something that hopefully we'll see in 3.8, especially if they're adding a new planet there. The future of interacting with items and screens and missions will vastly change the game. They've been working on this using a system called building blocks and new UIs and stuff. They like PvP missions and want to pit players against each other more. They want better signposting of what's a PvE mission, what's a PvP mission. They also want the Clover Star Neely mission to spawn more often in the short term. They reconfirmed that there will both be modular dynamic missions, but also handmade, more theme park ride missions, like the Private Investigator Wanted mission. Missions will have sort of like webs of events and other potential mission opportunities during the mission. There might be lots of different branches while you're on a mission, multiple ways of doing them, multiple endings for them. There could be lots of submission givers in interesting places as well. Players will be able to make missions for other players using sort of like a more robust version of the service beacon system. They basically might allow a system where they can just take Lego pieces of other missions or sensible parts of those and piece them together so that you can ask a player to do a particular type of mission for a reason. Tessa Bannister, one of the original mission givers, has new lines, and they're currently holding her back before they put her back in the game because they want the new gameplay types to support her better. So she's typically for like scanning and search and rescue missions. There will be cave missions, like lost and found type ones, where maybe you'll have to find a guy or retrieve an item. But it's actually a bit more sort of like they will be adding caves into the pool of where missions might take you. So there's sort of like locations where a mission for delivery or whatever might take you. There's going to be some form of mining and harvestables in caves. Some caves will be inhabited. The first iteration of NPCs in caves will likely be hostile, but there will be others in the future, not necessarily hostile. There might be like, merchants in there or mission givers. They want to make anything to do with caves believable with context and flow. There's not going to be like little tiny crawlways with boxes behind it that you're like, how the hell did they get that box in there? Mission markers for sort of like caves and secret entrances and things like that. They might give you all the information that you need to be able to find something, or they might mark a location nearby. But the idea is that with missions, you'll understand where you're supposed to go. You might have to search a bit for the exact spot of like where to find a particular item or whatever for a mission, but it will give you an idea at least. Missions can give or lend you vehicles to use, retrieve X resources or cargo using a prospector that the game gave you for a brief period of time or lent you or whatever. Ground vehicles will be important in the future with weather, environmental hazards, anti-air, and more restricting ship movements on planets. They talked about near future plans for the law system, with the first implementation of paying off fines. That's going to require you to visit fine kiosks in an appropriate area where you violated that sort of like law. Potentially wire transfers in the future might be a thing, so you can just pay them off wherever you are. You also have to hack down fines in the same way that you could hack down your criminal rating, and more functionality with hacking will be coming. If you don't pay your fine within a certain amount of time, or potentially if it gets to a certain sort of amount, that will become a felony. That's sort of like a more aggressive crime, a bad crime. You'll get a criminal rating. You might get reputation damage. You might get greater fines. They might send debt collectors or bounty hunters after you to collect. Eventually, you'll get arrested, and there's going to be prisons in the game and other sort of like punishments. The current hacking is using the new building blocks UI stuff, and it's sort of like a test of the interactive screens in game at the moment. Some things will be easy to hack in the future. Hacking chips will help override stuff, but might not necessarily be essential in all cases. Counter hacking, alarms, that sort of stuff's also being talked about. You may be able to hack turrets on comm arrays or in the sort of like on top of bunkers in the future. That could make them blind to your presence, or maybe even turn them to attack your enemies. They also want sort of like to be able to give you loot as rewards for doing missions, not just Alpha UEC and UEC. So you might be able to get like uniforms and sort of like that sort of stuff. Interesting unlocks for, I know, working for the advocacy for a long period of time. Maybe you get some sort of like civilian / advocacy type clothing. There is an 890 jump FPS mission that they've been prototyping as well. It sounds like either attacking or defending, one that's being boarded, potentially, I don't know, but it sounds cool. That ship is huge, so you could certainly have it as an FPS level, effectively. I'm very much hoping we see big battle scenes in the future, like we stumble upon a battle, we have to get involved in a battle, and some of that might be trying to protect a ship that's being boarded or to escort it, and there's lots of like steps to that, and the idea of pirates boarding ships and that sort of stuff, NPCs being able to do that in the future. That is very exciting to me, but tell me what you think. Do you have any questions about this week's news? Do you have any suggestions for videos? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Every month we have a giveaway. For August, we are giving away a Drake Corsair bundled with an 8-inch Fire tablet and 12 months of Game Glass. Game Glass makes software, allowing you to turn touchscreen devices, like tablets and mobiles, into immersive controllers for Star Citizen. But not just Star Citizen, Elite Dangerous is getting support next, and there's plans for lots more games to support this. You can use Game Glass for free, but there are paid options as well, giving you even more functionality. Please follow the links down below to get more info or to download. I'm still also shilling for NordVPN. If you're looking for a VPN, they are very cheap and have many benefits over free services. They help protect you and your privacy online, but it also makes it easier to access various websites as well. And there's Shadow 2, giving you remote access to a Windows 10 gaming PC of your very own so that you can effectively turn any appropriate device, your smartphone, a computer, a laptop, whatever, into this much more beefy machine. Subscription cloud services, in my opinion, are the way forward, and for some are going to be very appealing instead of sort of maintaining their own PC. For all of those, please follow the links below or use the code BoredGamer to get a discount. A massive thank you for watching. Please consider liking and sharing this content, as well as pressing the bell icon to get informed when a video goes live. Consider Patreon or becoming a YouTube member too if you'd like to further support the channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Please take care, and I'll see you in the verse.